Yesterday, I have a new testimony. Yesterday, there's a woman who I've seen at the hospital on and off, and I thought she had left and come back, but it turns out she'd been there for 2 weeks. She started out in ICU, and she was here before, though. Sometimes people come in and they remember me and me praying for them, and I don't remember who they are. But I had prayed for her. I know I had, because I felt familiar with her. I felt like I knew her. And so when I saw her in ICU, I had prayed for her, I believe. But the time that I'm really recalling is once she got moved into the normal room, and I had asked her, weren't you in ICU? And she says, yeah, I got moved. And I'm like, oh, that's got to be good. Like, you got to be getting better then. She says, yeah. I don't remember what the main thing was that was wrong with her, but she says, yeah, this is better. But, oh man, what was it? Something else was wrong with her. I can't remember right now. Okay, yeah, there's something. And we prayed. And when I came back, she was still in the hospital. And she came back like the next day. She was still in the hospital. And I really thought for sure that God healed her. I didn't have unction, or I just was very confident because he's just healed many like blood infections. It was something like that, like blood infection or an infection or things. It seems like in the blood or in the, I don't know, infections. And turns out he did. He healed her of this, whatever it was. And then this day, when I was walking in, though, before I knew, I just was like, I'm sure he healed her of that. It must be something else we have to pray for. And she was the first person I saw that morning. So I walk in, and I'm like, you're still here? And she says, yeah. And I said, well, I said, what's up? And she says, well, they came back and tested me, and it was gone. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. She says, but I remember she still had blood in her bladder. And so we had prayed for the bladder to just clear up and everything to heal. And basically, I believe, if I remember correctly, this is only 2 days ago, I can't remember, she was healed of both infections, the infection and then whatever the other thing was. So God's awesome, and he does so much that I can't even remember it all. And I used to write it down, but then I get so focused on writing down what already happened that I wouldn't be focused on what was about to happen. So I stopped writing it down, and then I try to remember, and then this is what happened. But God knows, so it doesn't matter. And she's blessed. They don't forget. And that's what matters. So that was awesome. And it was neat because she said, can I have your address? Normally I don't give my address out, but I was like, okay, sure. She says, I have some poems I've written, and I want to send them to you. And she's a believer, and it was really neat. So, yeah, it was a cool story. Yay, God.